Thank you very much, Rob, for giving me this chance, and for Dr. Randa as well. Welcome for all attendees. Today I'm gonna talk about, what if I have a classroom observation tomorrow? This question is usually asked by newly teachers when they have the supervisor coming to their classrooms. They become worried and they think that this kind of appraisal will affect their future and their promotion as well. So a solution for this is to the teacher can self-reflect. And to self-reflect is looking into a mirror. It's like looking into a mirror and describing what you see. It's a way of assessing yourself. When you assess yourself, you can know your strengths and your weaknesses, and you can work on that. A self-reflection teacher examines and attempts to solve the dilemmas of classroom practice. So a self-reflective teacher can, after teaching the lesson, he can knows what went well and what didn't go well, and he can work on himself to get better. Why is self-reflection on teaching is important? When we self-reflect, we can assess the students' learning and understanding of concepts. We can know their strengths and weaknesses and a lesson plan. And we can identify the degree to which instruction goals and objectives were met. We can also assess how effectively one is performing. We can obtain information about class participation and the student responses. We can assess pacing of the classroom and the amount of student engagement. Observed on task behavior of students. We can identify one's own delivery and the presentation strengths and areas for improvement. We can take informed actions about what is being done in the classroom and why it's being done. Other reasons to self-reflect is feeling confident, and gives us feeling of that satisfaction, and we become experts in what we are doing. How can a teacher self-reflect on his or her own teaching? Cambridge University used to use this technique of self-reflection to help teachers taking the CELTA of improving themselves. After every teaching practice lesson, the teacher presents with CELTA. The instructor asks him to self-reflect on his own teaching, to mention what went well and what didn't do well, and what he should do to improve himself next lessons. I prepared the self-reflection form to be used by teachers. After a teacher teaches a lesson, he can check the lesson plan and write what went well and what didn't go well, and then he can write the action plan. How can he do better next time? Also, the teacher, after teaching his lesson, he can check if he met the lesson objectives or not. He can also check if the students participated well or not with him, and the pacing of the parts of the plan. Did the plan went according to the time assigned by the teacher or not? Also, the teacher can ask himself, did he deal well with the disruptive trainees or not? And also, by self-reflection, the teacher can measure if teacher taking time versus student taking time is reasonable or not. Who was teaching more in the classroom? The teacher also can measure his performance generally, and can also know what went well or didn't go well with the weak learners. Did the weak learners understand well with him or not? Were they participating? And he can add, so we can add, if you'd like to add more to these, you can add as you like for the items. Another way that we can use it to self-reflect ourselves is by videoing the lesson. All we need to use, you need a 3-pod and a mobile phone or a camera, and you can record your lesson, and then you go home, and then you watch yourself teaching. By watching yourself teaching, you can self-reflect. It's like saying yourself teaching and you can know what you did well inside the classroom, what you didn't do well, how the students were participating. Were you focusing on the students in the front seats and you didn't focus on the ones at the back? You can also see what you need to change next time. And this is part of what we call it PDCA. PDCA is plan, do, check, and act. PDCA is a way for continuous improvement. It's called as well Deming cycle. PDCA, it means plan, and every teacher has to plan for the lesson. And then you have to self-reflect. After you plan, you do. This means that you teach your lesson. And after you teach your lesson, you self-reflect. You check what you did. Were your lesson perfect, or it needs some kind of improvement? And then you start to work on the action plan. You can put your action plan to make sure that next time everything will go perfect. This is not it can not be only for new teachers. It can be used by anyone who would like to improve himself. When you self-reflect, you can get better and better until you become an expert in your field of work. Even a teacher or so, even if you are teaching English or any other kind of subject, when you self-reflect, you can improve yourself well. By the end, self-reflect, don't hesitate. I encourage everyone to self-reflect and notice the difference of his performance. Thank you very much for giving me this chance. It's the first time for me to present online, but I guess it's a beneficial experience. Thank you so much. Please feel free to go to this satisfaction survey and give me a chance to self-reflect on myself through your eyes. And of course, I will self-reflect on myself after this presentation. Thank you so much.
Great. That was great. And one of the fastest ever. You made it